It's recording. All right. Hey, we got a special guest today in the Jay and Tom update. It's Andrew Carlson.
Our host.
Good
The
evening.
most.
Good evening.
So we're here at Andrew's house enjoying a nice scotch. We're going to recap our day, our last day here with Andrew, who's been a fine host. We had very, very nice meals. Tonight was havelina
On the new smoker.
on the smoker
Smoked
grill.
havelina, the neck portion.
Yep. And a javelina is like a pig, a wild pig, essentially. A very wild pig.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the day.
Well, we woke up this morning,
I did. Yep.
all three of us.
No scorpions.
We had a scorpion and a spider last night that we took care of.
Both are very small,
Yeah.
tiny.
So,
We exterminated the scorpion.
and the spider.
Jay,
So,
Jay
my
didn't
room.
want to kill the scorpion. He was a little
No.
a little
He
too.
looked cute. He
yeah.
looked cute, but Andrew didn't listen to me once again.
The scorpion was on the hallway floor about 15 feet from Jay's mattress on the living room floor.
You know. So did that last night, and then we this morning we had breakfast.
Very small breakfast, just coffee, tea, and some banana bread.
We were gonna go to the coffee shop, but
It's Sunday, and Sunday in Arizona, everything's closed, evidently.
well, not everything, but the coffee shops,
Lots of
both
stuff.
of them were closed. So
That they were.
then we stopped at Speedway. Tom got a little snack there, and I got a smoothie drink. And Andrew was driving his truck, and he had it planned out where we were gonna go. And
Yeah, so the first goal for the morning really was to kind of get down to the border wall. So we went to
Montezuma's Pass.
Montezuma's Pass, kind of the path to the border wall. And on the way to Montezuma's Pass, so it's 20, 30 miles from here, something like that,
15.
15, driving down a paved road, which eventually turns into a dirt road, and then the dirt road starts kind of doing switchbacks up to Montezuma's Pass, which is a few thousand feet up. And we came to a guy coming down the road on an e-bike, and he said, hey guys, hold up here.
Well, first we saw the
Oh, right,
actual
the
motorcycles.
guy with the motorcycle was
right, he
first.
goes, "Hey, you got cell phone coverage? You got cell phone coverage?" And Tom checked it, and we're like, "Nope, no cell phone." He's like, "Oh, motorcycle accident up ahead."
His
So,
leg is broken pretty bad.
pretty bad, and we're like, "Ooh," and then the e-bike guy came.
Right, so then we were a little further, and the e-bike guy came down. He said, "You guys can't get through here. They got the whole road closed off. The guy's in the middle of the road."
Yeah,
We're like, "Oh, well, what should we do now? Should we just turn around, or let's
Well,
just keep going and
well,
see what's up here?"
You couldn't turn around really because it's just a one lane gravel road switchbacking.
Yeah.
Back and forth. So we
So then we
perceived.
got up there around the corner to where the accident was, and the guy was actually off to the side of the road. There were two or three other motorcycle guys, and they were kind of a seriously equipped motorcycle group, I would say.
Yeah, they had like shoulder pads, stuff,
Yeah.
elbow pads. They were like big enduro type bikes.
But this guy had somehow slammed into the wall hard enough to break a leg, and so they were waiting for an ambulance to
It
come.
was
evac
a
him
cliff,
out of there.
cliffs,
The
jagged
stone
rocks of So he must have lost it in the loose gravel and
Yep.
smashed his leg between the bike and the cliff wall.
So we kind of waved at them. They didn't need help. It seemed that everybody had a plan or something was going to happen there that we didn't have to be involved. We kept on going up to the top, and then we kind of watched on the top as the ambulance eventually came in and
You know,
dealt with the guy. It was only like 20 minutes later the ambulance was there, so pretty
Yeah.
quick response.
the guy that we saw on the motorcycle obviously was with the party of group of bikers there. He went down and probably got cell phone coverage, and then he led a fire truck or something, some sort of probably had an ATV on the back or something.
Yep.
We could see him coming up the canyon, and then we could hear the ambulance that was later coming up. So it was kind of fun to watch all that unfold as we were at the top of the mountain. You could see it kind of in slow motion.
Right. So from the top of this mountain, you could see the border wall and all this stuff going on with the emergency stuff. Then we were down the other side of the mountain. We kind of went down to the border wall, and right up to it, and then followed it for a while. There's a road that goes alongside of the border wall for a few miles, and we drove along that and kind of was checking it out. And there was nothing to see. Some cows.
Cows, fencing, cow grates.
We could describe the fence at that portion as being seven barbed wire was called later in the day.
Yeah.
Barbed wire fence with like 7 heights,
Right.
7 strands to it, and then what they call Normandy
Normandy fence.
Normandy fence, which is very heavy steel that's supposed to prevent autos and vehicles from crossing over.
Yeah, our friend, which we'll talk about in a second, said that they were reused railroad lines or railroad.
Okay.
What do you call them?
Tracks.
Railroad tracks. They welded right there into these vehicle stopping things. So anyway, we kind of went down until we couldn't go any further. But in the midst of going, in the path of going down there, we had to go down this very, very steep hill, which is very treacherous to go down in a truck. And we thought we could somehow get out of there without having to come back to that hill. But it turns out we had to come back to the hill.
It was steep and yeah, I mean it was really steep.
So it was a challenge. It was a challenge and a test of Andrew's driving skill and his truck's capabilities.
I had never driven on a road that steep before, not even close.
Yeah.
It was extremely steep,
Yeah.
and it was kind of harrowing for maybe 15, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
15
We
to
didn't
30
know if we were
seconds.
gonna make it up or start sliding back or what on the gravel road, but Andrew did a great job of navigating up to the top, and we made it back, and we somehow figured our way back onto the main road from where we were along the border. It took us a few tries to
Right.
find the main road going through the valley, heading west.
So I would say we were driving along all of these dirt roads for an hour, maybe 2 hours.
From Montezuma, the peak we were at, Montezuma, to
I think it was 2 hours.
Patagonia.
Patagonia?
yeah, it's about 45 miles, wasn't it? Something like that, and it's all
At
dirt
least
road.
2, I'd say more like 3 hours.
Yeah, we were
My-
gone a long way.
My takeaway from that was that I cannot believe anybody would cross that on foot. And,
Very desolate and barren.
yeah, no
Yeah.
place to get water, no place to get food, obviously,
Yeah.
no cell service, no nothing, just a lot of open territory and
A few cattle.
We could
Yeah.
see on the
And
high
large
points
ranches.
of the valley. There's cameras that look like cameras. So
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure there's Border Patrol can zoom in and
Yeah.
look.
once we got past the border fence and got back on the road and started going to Patagonia, then we passed like 5 or 6
You know,
border patrol agent trucks. But
as we got more towards the mountains and the rugged terrain.
so
where-
obviously in that open terrain, they didn't really need to have border agents.
'Cause it
But
was-
when it was wooded and hilly and you couldn't see forever, then that's where all the border control.
probably more crossings are there. So
So anyway, then we got to Patagonia and had lunch at the Wagon Wheel. Burgers,
very good.
yep,
Onion rings.
onion rings.
We met a couple there from Washington State that just bought a house in Patagonia, and they were on e-bikes.
This was a classic Jay situation where Andrew and I had finished lunch and we're kind of waiting outside. We're like, where's Jay? And I look around the corner and there's Jay still chatting with this couple over
Yep.
there,
You know,
talking about whatever.
yep. So they were talking about their e-bikes, or I was interested in how they like their e-bikes, and they said they moved from Washington State. They bought a house there in Patagonia, and
They love the sun.
They liked it. Yep. And they said they had spotted when they were there, kind of on the trail that we drove on. They've seen a few migrants, a couple male guys coming through. One ran away, and one was actually trying to turn themselves in or so. But so that was fun talking with them. And then after that, we went to the wine country. Andrew took us to
In Sonoita and Elgin,
Where there are half a dozen wineries.
at least. maybe 10.
And we kind of randomly picked one called Deep Sky.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Really kind of nice. You drive in and then you go on the other side of the winery, and that's where all the vineyards are. And it's a nice shaded area, and they had some nice chairs, kind of chilled out there. Had some wine tasting.
And,
5 different wines, which got progressively better.
you know, and the wine server guy, he was pretty cool, and there were people out playing cornhole,
Yeah.
and they had a bocce ball set out there, and so there's a couple, they were obviously Harley people, they were there playing, and
Bandanas, leather vests,
sunglasses,
leather boots,
all the
beard.
yeah,
Well, he had a beard anyway.
so
She had a tank top.
yeah.
Cigar smokers.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, yes, we got talking to them after we had finished our flights of wine and our taste testing, and so that was interesting.
Yeah.
Tom can tell you about his history or story that he told us.
About the guy, Corey.
Yeah.
So
about
the guy, his name is Corey, and he...
Oh, Cody.
Cody, sorry. And he was a border wall constructor, or...
A bulldozer driver.
Right. So he was working on the border wall until the funding got canceled for it. And he had some kind of interesting stories to tell about working on the wall and illegal aliens coming up to where they were working, and one guy basically half dead and begging for food and water and so on.
Yeah.
And,
Which they gave him.
They shared some lunch and water with them, and then Border Patrol came and helped the guy out. And
Yeah.
so he kind of gave us the whole story of what he witnessed working there. He said there's, a lot of people are coming through that, it's pretty rugged once they get across. And he was talked about some graves or something.
Right.
People had
People just
died,
dying
some
out there.
graves.
I
They
believe he
got
said
their
mass graves.
mass graves, yeah.
The guy who came through, he said he had been without food or water for 4 or 5 days, walking through what we had driven through kind of earlier in that day.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, he got laid off from the border wall construction when funding dried up, and now he runs an RV repair
Well,
business.
the funding wasn't dried up. It was canceled.
Canceled. Sorry.
So-
I don't want to be too political. But this guy wasn't pleased with that decision, by the way.
No,
he
of
was
course
very so he kind of had they're living off the grid, so they have an RV, so that he came from Montana. He said he was working on pipelines up there and came down and work on the wall, and they bought some land down here for cheap or something and had their RV, and they got laid off, and so they've been trying to live off the grid there. And so now he's starting up his own business as far as doing mobile RV repair.
Yep.
So that was pretty neat talking to him especially, but
Yeah, she just kind of hung back and let him
Yep. So-
handle the conversation. While we were there with the guy who owns the winery, well, the wine that Jay decided to buy, which is called Comet, is what the guy who owns the winery, is that the lead singer, or somehow the lead singer of Tool had a connection to this Comet
He's-
wine?
he has another vineyard.
In Jerome.
Yeah.
In
Arizona.
Jerome,
Yeah.
okay. And this is a wine that came from this other vineyard.
Yeah, his
Right, okay.
vineyard. Yeah, and it was like super awesome. So we got a couple bottles of that.
Yeah, but the other cool thing about the winery is they had these art pieces on the wall,
Original paintings.
which the owner, I think, of that winery did, and they're basically paintings of album covers, or famous rock album covers, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Such as Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic,
Yes.
and Johnny Cash, and Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. Original paintings.
Yeah,
Nicely done paintings.
So yeah, we have a friend that we won't name likes.
we made a
Bruce.
video specifically for him, which I might include in this little thing that we're going to
Yeah,
package up here.
So it was a shout out for our friend.
So
Who likes to remain anonymous
yeah,
most
so
of the time.
Then we came back here to Andrew's house, and we started to smoke, did various chores or whatever, and then we started to smoke some havelina. Andrew put a javelina neck that he had he had hunted and killed and slaughtered
In January.
in January, and we cooked that up. It had defrosted the night before. Put that on the smoker for about 3 hours.
Well, marinated it for 10 hours first in apple cider vinegar.
Right. And then smoked it, and then we ate it.
Smoked it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And cooked it in the oven for about 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, just to finish it off,
Right.
So that was very good. We had that with some rice and some vegetables, and it was great. It was a long day. Did a lot.
I think that just about sums it up. Did we forget anything?
This is our last night, and
Last
we're
night
heading out
here.
tomorrow morning. So
The next update will be probably from Taos.
the goal is maybe to hit Taos tomorrow. So, but yeah, it was a good stay down here.
Yeah.
See Andrew's place.
Tom
Thanks
and
for the
Jim,
hospitality, Andrew.
Andrew's been
We
very hospitable
we
and
threw your
hospitable.
we threw your
I've not
your-
been hospital, Jay. I've been
Yeah.
hospitable.
Your whole-
Yes.
we threw your whole lifestyle into disarray. So we appreciate the extra effort you put in.
Well, it's been good to host these guys. We've had a lot of fun. Kind of done quintessential southern Arizona things.
Yeah, very nice area down here. Andrew's got a nice pad here, and so it's been a lot of fun.
Jay purchased a very pricey, high-end bottle of scotch for our visit, which we consumed in 3 nights.
Yeah, it was smooth.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, it was good, and so we had good food here, and
And now tonight we're drinking the cheap stuff because we ran out of the
we
good
ran
stuff.
out. So these guys can handle the cheap stuff. I'm I'm trying to suck it down. So
Okay,
all right.
until tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Hey, cow. What's up? All right, you're just gonna move along then. Ooh, really scaring him off. Cow's like, we're aliens. What is this weird thing here?
Jay, get out and punch him. See what he does.
Try to get some milk. Here we are reporting from the border wall.
It's heavy duty. No truck is going to plow through this thing, Jay. Check that out. It's sturdy.
Solid American steel.
U.S. steel, Jay.
U.S. steel.
I don't see any illegal migrants.
We have not seen any.
What's the swarm called? Don't they have a name for the swarm? The big group that was coming up a couple months ago. They had a name. Catchy name.
Caravan.
Caravan. I don't see a caravan.
So how far, Andrew? How far are we driven from our last? Give us a rundown of how we got here this morning.
Mountains. Sierra Vista's on the other side of it. That direction. So as the crow flies, we're 25, 30 miles from Sierra Vista. And maybe we've gone 40 or 50 miles driving.
Just on back roads, single lane gravel roads.
Those are the Patagonian
Primitive.
Mountains.
Okay, look at me. I'm going to cross into Mexico.
Scofflaw.
I'm now in Mexico.
Maybe you got
May I return to the United States, sir?
maybe you got to cross here.
Yeah. Stick your foot, touch Mexican soil.
What if it's electrified?
Illegal immigration,
Right.
undocumented crossings.
All right.
Pretty
That's
crazy
it for
stuff.
this report. All right, so we're here at the Deep Sky Winery, enjoying some wine. And this is for Eric Johnson. We had something special here we want to show.
Yep. Got
Number one,
the Man in Black,
Johnny Cash.
one and only, Johnny Cash.
And what's right next beside it?
Boss.
$800 for the boss. $700 for Johnny Cash. So we'll be bringing one of those home for Eric Johnson.
As soon as we negotiate with the owner here and see what maybe a combination of both. We'll see what we can do.
All right. Later.